Hi, I'm Lacey G out here at Longhorn Harley and having a great time out at this event, learning a lot of cool stuff, including talking to new friend Justin, who's here, who's been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. So, Justin, I want to know everything that you've been doing to make this possible. What's your role? What do you have going on?
So, Justin Wheat, I'm the president of the board for Metroplex BMX Group. We operate DeSoto BMX in DeSoto, Texas, which is a BMX racing facility that's actually been down there since 1996, but a covered facility since 1999. That's where we hold and conduct BMX racing for all ages and proficiency levels.
So this has been going on there for a while. So you all know what you're doing. This is a well-oiled machine that you have everything figured out there in DeSoto.
Over the years, so BMX racing's had some deep roots here in North Texas, right? Going back to the late 70s and BMX through the 80s and 90s, and finally finding a spot in DeSoto, Texas, with the first covered facility built exclusively for BMX is the first one in the United States. Mm-hmm. So that was, again, back in 99.
And we're in Texas. If anything needs to be covered, it would be absolutely anything outside here in Texas. So I'm sure all the riders really, really appreciate that.
They do. And believe me, we've been to some facilities across the U.S. that we wish we had what we have here.
Yeah. So what made you get started? That's such a unique hobby that turned into a career. What made you get started in this?
Really, it's like everything else. Back in 1987, Big Brother, comes home with the BMX magazine or the BMX Plus, and we start looking at pictures. And of course, the famous movie Rad had just been released, I guess the year prior. And we see that as little kids, and we want to find out where the local BMX track was. And of course, we begged our dad to take us out there, and that's how it all started. And it was all onward from there. So,
was this unique to you, or were there a lot of people doing this? Your friends in school, were they doing the same thing as you? Or was this something that you just kind of picked up on your own and took off?
Like, it was something that I just picked up. And really, I believe where I grew up, I don't think there may have been one or two other individuals that had competed all throughout, elementary school and up through high school. So, but it is a national and international sport.
Because it just seems really unique. You don't hear a bunch of people, or I don't hear a bunch of people that are BMX riders. So to be here and witness all this is just incredible for me. You've had this hobby for a long time. Did you pass this on to your family? Does your family like to ride bikes? Is this a whole family affair?
Obviously, you get to a point where you either, I don't want to use the word grow up, but, you go through the, amateur ranks, and then you make attempts at the pro ranks and have your shares of spills and thrills and, emergency rooms. And then you realize, hey, maybe grow up a little bit and, you have a family, but of course, when that happens, next thing you know, you're back out at the track with your young ones. And that's where I found myself back out at DeSoto BMX, where I had trained all these years prior with my teenagers at the time or younger. And then now they're a little bit older, but I found a new passion with the sport, not necessarily being able to compete, but actually able to give back, trying to grow the sport here throughout DFW and beyond.
So how do you mean giving back to DFW?
One of the other roles that I have is I am the president of the board of the Metroplex BMX Group. Mm-hmm. And again, we operate DeSoto BMX. So we intend on continuing to grow DeSoto BMX, but not only operating DeSoto BMX, but grow tracks here in DFW. And ultimately, over the next 5, 10, 15 years, we'll have up to 4 to 5 BMX tracks here in the Dallas-Fort Worth region where someone could actually compete every night of the week if they so choose, whatever area they're from. So really, to be able to access a BMX facility within 30 minutes from your doorstep to the starting gate, mm-hmm. 30 minutes. And that's really the ultimate goal.
And as far as athleticism, how difficult is it to be in a BMX race? Is that hardcore? Are you just like gliding on a bike and there's no efforts? I mean, I'm going to be honest, I've never glided on a bike. I ride around my block and I get huffy and puffy. But how difficult is it for someone to compete in a BMX race?
Very difficult. I find it amusing when people come out and they look at that and they think that they can hop on a bicycle and do it. They get about halfway around the track and their legs, rubber legs, right? Mm-hmm. Noodles, they can't even stand up. That's very taxing, very strenuous on the body. A BMX race for a lot of individuals, that when you say BMX to the layman, right? They think, oh, flips, jumps, backflips, freestyle, street riding. BMX is a 30 to 40 second all-out sprint over obstacles, comparable to motocross racing over jumps and turns. But you're pedaling, right? So it can only be 30 seconds or 40 seconds. Otherwise, the body physically couldn't do it. So it's one lap. But I guess it's analogous to putting a bunch of weight on your back and doing squats for 45 seconds as fast as you can, and then trying to run down the street. It's a lot. You are physically exhausted after one race.
But people do more than one race?
Right.
How?
and that's so you can compete. Sometimes people are riding different bicycles or different types of classes. So they call them cruisers or 20 inches and open races. They can compete several times in one class. So you go through qualifying, and so you race one race, you rest for a little while, they go through the others, and then you race again. So you recover a little bit. But by the time you get to that third or fourth race in the day, each race takes a little bit of a toll on the body, right? So you get a little bit less each race. So that's where, as people progress in their riding, and whether it's they're very competitive or what, they train. So it just becomes natural to be able to compete longer.
What's the youngest age that you work with out at the DeSoto track?
2.5.
Wow.
So we've got some little guys, and they call those strider riders or strider bikes, or so they don't have cranks or pedals, but they just they stride. Mm-hmm. They straddle the little bike, and we have a course set up. It's to mimic the older pedal bike racers, but they race half of the BMX track, right? And we have a starting gate that mocks just like the big starting gate that the big boys and big girls get on, and they get to run a race just like the big guys.
That's incredible. Yeah. So is this racetrack just for kids, or is it for all ages?
So yeah, let me back up. So the youngest is 2.5, right? All the way up to 55 and over.
Okay.
Yep.
And how can people get involved in your organization?
The easiest way is usually Facebook, right? Just the DeSoto BMX page is our Facebook page. However, we have DeSotoBMX.org, or that's our track, a local track page here in DeSoto. You can also look at the Metroplex BMX Group.org. That's a good way just to get information about our organization, and then also BMX racing in general.
And you were telling me earlier, y'all have events there all the time. There's almost always something going on 7 days a week, or y'all open 7 days?
Usually roughly 6 days a week, right? So we have sanctioned races Fridays and Saturdays. And depending on the time of the year, sometimes that may be Saturdays days, or, during the summer, or maybe in the evenings during the summer, just because it's cooler. But Friday and Saturday nights, and then practices on Wednesday evenings and Sunday afternoons.
That's incredible. That's really cool. Well, is there anything else that you would like to tell people about you, what you do, or BMXing? If
you can ride a bike, if you want to compete, great. Come out to DeSoto BMX there in DeSoto, Texas. It's Grimes Park. If you don't want to race, but you can ride a bike, get on a bike, stay active, and have fun. Yeah, and go check them out and see what they do, because they're doing so much. Thank you so much, Justin. Thank you, Lacey.
ProPod Digital.